I'm out in the woods today, and I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts in regards to different glove systems and how they work with different temperature environments, and just do a quick run through. I spent a whole lot of money on different gloves, and try to, for anyone looking to purchase some, try to narrow down your search field. I'm a keyboard jockey for my day job, so protecting my hands is very important, and frostbite or chopping them off is really not an option. So a couple of quick things. I'm going to start kind of with the hottest, and then go hottest weather glove system, and kind of go down to the coldest, and then talk about some gloves that I don't find work well out in the woods, and then kind of finish with some specialty items. Most of the time, the things I'll be doing out in the woods is I don't do any like rock climbing or mountaineering or anything like that. It's typically canoeing, backpacking, and or bushcrafty stuff, which involves lots of axes and saws and knives and stuff like that. And then I like to also shoot a lot, so we'll talk a little bit about gloves I find well with that. Just kind of first up on the list, this is a Carhartt like a lineman's glove. It's meant for like working barbed wire. This glove was great. I used this for quite a while. It's kind of worn out and got some holes in it. It was good just kind of from the 50 above range kind of glove. It would get wet and soaked, but it would dry out good. The problem I found with it is the color. Once it gets dirty, if you drop this in the woods, you're not finding it. It's like impossible to find this thing. It blends in with leaves really good. So not the only negative with this glove. But I need to buy another pair of these. These are great, just like all around working gloves. Next up, this is what I use like almost all the time. These are like my go-to gloves. These are actually surplus. They're fairly inexpensive. They're called D3A Intermediate Cold Weather Glove System, I think is what it's called. They're this pretty good, supple, thick black leather. They take to a wax real nice, like a snow seal. You can really impregnate it, and they work quite well for that. So I like these a lot. I use these anywhere from I don't know, 0 up to 100 basically. Your hands are going to get sweaty when it's hot, but you can layer under them, and it works quite well. So I believe in glove layering, as you'll see here, just no different than the way I layer my clothes for different weather. So these would be good 50 and above. If it starts getting rainy, a lot of times on a canoe trip or a backpacking trip, you got your hands out either on the paddle or on poles. So this is prototype, not quite done with this, but this is an Event rain mitt. It's fully taped. It's made at Event. I made it myself. I just need to finish up the back half, and I'm looking to use it on an upcoming canoe journey. Hopefully it'll keep my hands from being completely soaked when you got rain and spray off the deck. So no fun doing that. If it starts getting a little bit chillier, I like to bring, especially these, I use these all the time for backpacking, even like really cold weather. These are called Defeat like woolinator gloves. They're meant for like running. They're a little bit thicker, coarser wool than what you find in most liner gloves. They have a really good stretchy cuff. It holds on the wrist quite tight. And then the best thing about these is they actually have little like grippy dots all over the palm. And I love this glove because you can actually use it quite a bit. You can swing an axe with it, which is kind of strange for a liner glove, but you can do it because it's got this grippiness, but it's not too super grippy. So I love these. They fit quite well in my hands. I bring these along anytime it's going to be like 40 and below, or 40 degrees and lower. I would definitely bring these, and when it's really, really cold, I'm going to bring 2 sets of these. They dry out quite quick because they're very thin, but I've used these from, well, -35 up to about 60, so quite the temperature range. Love these things. They do get some holes in them, which I've had to knit up, and I burned the whole hand a few times, but I've had them for about a year. They work quite well. Once it gets below freezing, down into the 20s or so, I would probably bring the black leather gloves plus those woolinator plus these. And these are wristies. They're like a power stretch puller fleece material. They go over the hand like this, and it really helps secure your cuff and increases kind of your anytime you got to take your gloves off and can't use liner gloves, this works well. So I like these quite a bit. And then once it gets really, really cold, like consistently under 20, I don't like using gloves anymore because I don't really need to do anything. All I'm going to do big task is pick up logs and or swing an axe, which is why I use these. And this is a mitten. Mittens are of course a little bit warmer than a glove. They're quite big. I made them myself. This is 4-ounce elk hide, and then this is a 500 Cordura fire retardant Cordura. So it's pretty cool. You can take a lighter to it, and it doesn't really catch fire. So I did that and put a big loop on here, so you can really pull it up. And the gauntlet's big, but not too big that it'll fit well, and you can cinch it down. But I like this one quite a bit. So Use those all the time. Now, if it gets really, really cold, these are surplus just liner mittens, which I don't like quite as much as the Defeat ones, just because they're not very grippy, they don't fit very well, they're not as tight, and they're kind of a less dense weave. But what I use these with is, if it gets real cold, I put the wristies on, I'd put the Defeat liner gloves on, I'd put these on, and then I'd put the mitten on. And I guarantee that'll keep you comfy down to well below -20. You got to almost have the 2 liner gloves. I like this system a lot better than one big one, because I can take all these liners out, take the wristies off, take the Defeat off, and then take these off, and they'll all dry out real quick versus having one gigantic, big, bulky glove. And then I can fine-tune the layering system. So these are kind of the systems I would use. These gloves all in combination. I've used all these, we'll continue to use all these, and we'll buy more of them. So let me now talk about some gloves that I don't use so much anymore. The gloves I just went over work great. They're all thin, they dry quickly, and they go in different layering systems, so they all kind of fit together. I know based upon my temperature range which works well. Let me talk about a few gloves that I used to use quite a bit, and now I find don't work so well for my purposes. So I went through this stupid tactical phase at one point in time, and I thought, oh yes, I need these because they have the carbon fiber knuckles. These are completely stupid. They have terrible, these are the Oakley like tactical whatever. Their grip is okay, they're way too expensive, and they don't fit my hand so great. I still do use these, but I only use them for mountain biking, just because sometimes when I'm on the handlebars, I've punched some trees before, and the carbon fiber actually comes into play. These are really not that great for shooting. My number one reason I don't like them for shooting is you can't put your hand, once you get these things on, is the carbon fiber knuckles stick out like this. So if you try to put your hand in your pocket, you literally can't get anything in a pocket. It's kind of a pain in the butt since these stick out. So I don't use these much anymore, just for some mountain biking. I would not recommend them, they're too expensive. These are like your generic mechanics gloves. These are like no-name brand that like seem to fit my hands well. I don't use these for bushcrafty stuff or outdoors much anymore, because they usually have a cotton content to them. They take forever to dry. They're not real durable, and thorns go through them like nothing. So they're not super durable. They do have pretty good tactileness, but I use them for now for like shooting or yard work or whatever. These are some of my old favorite gloves. You can see that they're pretty much destroyed. These are like the standard Nomex flying gloves. I used these for a while doing bushcrafty stuff, but the leather just wears out too quick and they don't offer much protection. They do work quite well for shooting though. I find that they have a great deal of manipulation. You can use them with handgun and or rifle. They work quite well for that, but these are completely worn out. I need to get a new pair, but they work quite well. I like them a lot. As I've talked over and over again, I do not like all-in-one systems, all-in-one jacket, all-in-one boot, whatever. It's always layers, multiple, easy to dry out. So I thought, and this is stuff I used to buy, this is a soft shell glove by Outdoor Research, which is a nice glove. I've used it on a canoe trip once when it was rather cold. But the problem is it's got a wool lining inside of it, which you think would be good, and it's got a leather palm, which are both good things. It's not a bad glove. The thing I don't like about it is it's got all-in-one. So if this gets soaked, you can't dry it out. Like turning this thing inside out and trying to dry the insulation is next to impossible. It's all synthetic too, so it burns next to the fire, and this gauntlet's like too small to go under a wrist, or it's too big to go under a wrist, not big enough to go over a wrist. So not my favorite. Soft shell gloves, whatever. This is the same concept. This is like a really nice big ski glove. It's got Primaloft insulation in it, Gore-Tex membrane, all the big name stuff that you should use in a winter glove. I don't like these very much either, because same thing, you can't dry them out. Multi-day trip, they're fine if you want to go down the ski slope and then go into the ski hut. That's fine. If you want to try to stay out in the woods for 3, 4, 5 days at a time in the winter, these are going to be saturated cold, and you're never going to be able to dry them out. Plus the leather's a little soft for my liking. I got a few holes in them and stuff, so these are relegated for cleaning the car now. Same kind of line of thinking. These are like a soft shell glove I thought I needed at one point in time. I have no idea why. They fit terribly in my opinion. I should probably sell these or something. The fingertips are too long. These are Mountain Hardware. Again, they got like fuzziness inside. They never dry out. And they don't fit terrible. These are halfway decent, okay. These are stupid expensive if you go to buy them. They're like $300, but you can find them on eBay for a lot cheaper. They're Outdoor Research, like military extreme cold weather gloves. They even have another liner inside of them. The only reason I use these is I use them for either snowmobiling or like an ATV plowing my driveway in the winter. They work great. They're super great for that just because they are incredibly warm, super wind resistant, and when your hands are out on the handlebars like this for an hour or so, something like that, a few hours if you're snowmobiling, they really keep your hands good and toasty for that. But for camping, not so great because there's no way to dry. There's too much insulation in here. This will burn if you get too close to the fire. But they do work quite well for ATV riding and such like that. So as you can see, I've purchased quite a few gloves. I hope that helps someone out somewhere. Again, I would stress all-in-one does not work for multi-day things because you can't dry it out. And I don't care if it has Gore-Tex or whatever, you need to be able to dry it out. You need to be able to change it out. And you need to be able to adjust the temperature ranges. So multiple thin layers, I think, is really a crucial thing. So hope to help someone out. Have a great day.